Hello, Too Tall here, coming in, ducking under that search bar to bring you another live stream of once again Fault Milestone 1. And the reason why I'm doing this again and not Road to Warship is because of a cliffhanger. This is a storybook, and I don't want to wait a whole nother week to be able to play this game. And those who enjoy this game also probably don't want to wait a whole nother week. Jenkins, it is. I highly recommend you watch the first three parts before you watch this. Otherwise, you will not understand anything. You can watch this. You can watch this, and you can go back and watch the other two. Maybe I can do Valkyria Chronicles in place of Xenonauts because Xenonauts obviously isn't a game that they like, that people like. But yeah. In the meantime, we're gonna continue, and we are going to finish this game. We're going to binge play this, and we're going to finish it. And after last episode, viewer discretion is advised. That's all I'm going to say because, wow, stuff happened. So if you don't want to see anything, how long is the stream going to be? I don't know. Well, not this. Well, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's hard to explain. But on the last one, it was not. It's not like anything completely bad, but it's. Well, they're sensitive, I'll say that. If you're very squeamish, then I don't recommend it. Well, I don't know. This game is surprising. This game is very surprising in a way, so maybe viewer discretion is advised, maybe not. I don't know, but just be ready for any surprises, I guess is all I got to say. No, this is not one of those games. Not one of those games. No. Heck no. This is not one of those games. It's just, this game takes a while to turn for weird. This game is definitely a game that surprises you. Anyways, let's just, well, that is basically what, that is. But anyways, let's continue on. Sid, I can confidently say that we are on the high side of good here. We're on the side of good here. We conduct our business with high moral and ethical standards. To me, the nature of your business and Hive's is one and the same. I'm well aware of that. Jenkins! No. Anyways, shall we continue? However, I want you to understand that we will not back down against Haven. We have our own beliefs to adhere to. I know you looked it up. Why do you continue to rebel against God like this? It is God's will that we must simply accept so we can carry out His divine plan. Is it that difficult to simply accept what has been given to you and live the life within your means? Science is nothing but the height of folly. It is proof that you are ungrateful of the blessing and the life that you have received. Sure, that might be the case for you, but let me tell you this, Father. As long as we humans have this thing called curiosity, the march... We're not gonna... Jenkins, let's just not have any comments like that, okay? Just no comments whatsoever. And due to that, I'm just gonna remove that message at the moment, just so we don't have anything like that on the stream chat, okay? Trying to keep this PG-13 here, anyways. As long as we humans have this thing called curiosity, the march of science will never stop. Well, if your friend is watching this, tell him I will not answer. And your friend, stop bugging him. Oy vey. We just had to find out about the hidden possibilities of mana. No, not just about mana. Not just about mana. You tell a human being to live in this world without trying to satisfy their curiosity, that's just plain impossible. And curiosity is another one of those gifts that your God gave us humans, is it? Blasphemy. Did you want to meet me face to face to simply lecture me on God and human nature? No, we came here because we'd like to pitch you something. Pitch? What could this be now? We're currently developing machines to assist with work in the mines. They'll be powered by mana and able to understand what... I have no... I have no control over the background music. I have no control over the background music. So yeah, I can't change the background. Be able to understand what we have to do and carry out those commands. What in the... However, we decided to stop work on that. Instead, we decided to devote our time to creating machines to provide support to the sisters of the church. And why exactly would you do that? Father, do you want to work with us at the right... I beg your pardon? Right now, even if we build a general hospital in town, there are far more people who would seek help from the church. But Father, that just isn't going to work out. Sorry to say, but what you're doing isn't gonna give a single life. What isn't going to save a single life? Well, yeah, but that music might destroy the immersion of the game here. Maybe if it was another live stream, I would do that background, but otherwise I will not add in background music just in case for copyright and all that. Anyways, the only way to save people who are dying from mana is mana itself. We have completely different values, but I'm sure that we share the same fundamental desire to save as many people as we possibly can. Please, let us work with you. I'm sure patients wouldn't have any problem if you have them go to a hospital that has your blessing. I see. And there we're gonna have our machines take the place of the sisters instead. We're already partnered up with an engineering company. If you want me to sub, I can sub. Yeah, there you go. See, done. Voila. Anyway. Yeah, I sub now. There you go. Anyways, shall we continue? We've already partnered with an engineering company to make sure they look perfectly human. They'll just have as much humanity as we do. If you let the machines deal with any dangerous patients, World of Warships is awesome. I highly recommend it. Then I'm sure you can prevent any sisters from losing their lives. This sister project is our way of showing our sincerity in the proposition. Oh, so that's what Rune was created for, or what was their name? S.A. Sarah? Yeah, Sarah. Please, won't you consider? I see how it is. Truly a suggestion that could only have been put forth by someone so entrapped in a world desired such as yourself. It is a suggestion that completely, utterly ignores the demands of our church. Well, No, that's enough. This is no longer something we can discuss. However, you wish to save as many as you can, correct? Um, People are dying from this thing in the outer pole, in the outer pole from... I can't really describe it. The best thing I can do to tell you to more understand this is to watch my my other episodes. But the best I can describe here is that the people in the outer pole are dying from mana, which is a Special rock that pretty much grants people power, and in the outer pole there's no mana, and people have an absolute mana limit, and they are dying from this mana, from mana shock, because their bodies cannot handle said mana. And Sid here, maybe Jenkins, maybe, but I'll be honest, it's highly unlikely. Oh. But yeah, that's the best I can describe at what's going on in this scene at the moment. But in order for everything to be completely going on, I highly recommend you watch the older episodes. Anyways, let's continue. You wish to save as many lives as you can, correct? Your statement reeks of arrogance and lack of concern for the souls of the deceased. But very well. I can understand your reasoning. We're very grateful for. However, we cannot accept those machines of yours. Why not? Don't you want to prevent any of the more of the Abby sisters becoming victims? Of course, I want to put a stop to the victims, and I wish to save many people's lives as we can. However, these patients have come here seeking salvation from God. Although I suppose you atheist heathens wouldn't understand, no matter how well they can mimic human behavior, like how any hymn sung without a heart won't heal. 7 or 8, Jenkins, I think. Anyways, prayer from something without a soul will not save anyone. Was Sid just silenced by a member of... Still, for such non-believers to save lives in the name... Okay, 7. In the name of the church, your convictions have come through. I will need some time. Ah, here we are, back. Oh my. The mind sync was cut. Ah, the connection just... Oh no. Sorry, I'll get it patched up now. Lady, more importantly, how's your condition? Well? Oh, I mean, how do you feel? Yeah. No, what I mean is... God, this is such a pain! This is the first time I had so much difficulty connecting a drive right. Is this case that much different than usual? There has to be some right amount of pressure from the external mana so that the internal mana can stabilize. Being able to refine mana constantly is quite a difficult feat. Even though we look to be the same people, it's amazing how different our bodies can function. It's like we're completely different species. I beg to disagree. That's cool. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get the bank. We've been too busy trying to prepare for our trip to Florida. If you donate $100 a week, which I highly recommend you don't need to do, you really don't need to do that. That would be too much. That would be too much. If you want to, you can. But I don't recommend. Oh wow. Well, the only thing I can say with money is be conservative with it. To visit my granddad and my family down there. That's why I'm going to Florida to visit family. It all boils down to the... I am not broke, no. No, I am not broke. I am perfectly in the wealth cap. I'm in a good wealth cap. I am in a good wealth gap. I am not broke. It all boils down to the presence or absence of mana. If we were to stay here too long, our mana system would end up deteriorating and we would end up with the same physique as you. Jenkins. 1, that's amazing. 2, I am not broke and I'm not sure how to say this. It's just I'm fine. I'll just say it like that. I am perfectly fine. Anyways, let's continue. Albas. Well, again, I am still 17, so I'm still under the what's the word I'm looking for? Under the care of my parents. So yeah, there's that. And two, I do not know exactly how much money I have off the top of my head, but it definitely is enough for me to basically I'll be completely fine. Plus, I plan on going into the military, and that reaps a whole bunch of benefits, so I will be fine with money. Which is why I really haven't put any. You don't need to donate. It's only if like you want. There's no need. You do not need to donate. Do not donate because you think of. Can I get a Switch yet? I have no idea what you mean by a Switch. Anyways, I'm gonna continue on with the story here, Jenkins. Albas, you and we are all just the same human beings. I see. If I may, about the memory just now, you referred to a church. Does that mean there's also mana-related religions in the Outer Pole? There certainly are. In fact, the reason why a company like ours was able to grow so much for a Switch, are you like talking about like the Nintendo Switch or something? In fact, the reason why a company like ours was able to grow so much despite being anything but religious is that is funny that you're the only one in chat at the moment. Anyways, let's continue on with the story. In fact, the reason why a company like ours was able to grow so much despite being anything but religious is because of Elaine's idea that we partner with the church. I'll be honest. I really won't be using any form of console except for my because I have a computer here that's very strong and a very good computer. I have really no need for a console. Anyways, let's continue. Even in the Outer Pole, there are plenty of people who seek help from the gods of mana. I never knew. The owner of a pawn shop said the god of mana had forsaken this land, which has led to the development of science. That's pretty accurate. Even though our principles and religions contradict each other, they can still coexist with each other. And when it all boils down to it, us humans need something to believe in, even if it is a god who abandons us. And I had thought this was a land with nothing but self-serving individuals, but that wasn't the case. Sid and Ellen have such a strong sense of duty and concern. Those two are truly amazing. There's so much I could learn from such wonderful people. Agreed. While I was so fixated on working on simply conducting research, those two were always wholeheartedly directing their efforts into making the Outer Pole a better place. I have a PlayStation 4. I do have a PlayStation 4, I just don't use it, Jenkins. I was often reminded of the difference in our personalities when they were still around. Alright, Jenkins. Well, at least you're here at the stream, so that's important. What do you mean? I heard that Sid had already moved on to the next world. But has his wife, Ellen, also passed on as well? Snuck it in. Yes, several weeks after Rune died, she had also passed away. You see, Ellen was killed by Rune. She laced the tea Ellen had always drank with Process 1 before it was refined into a drug. She was killed by her own flesh and blood daughter? can't believe it. Rune was often Rune who often frequently, I think they were meant to say frequently, no wait, frequents Zip's lab had actually snuck in and stole Process 1, that was kept for research purposes. She had taken enough to kill 10 adults. Spam. Directors and executives of the company from the other outer pole regions, who were all supportive, supposed to merge with Zivite, had later been found dead, poisoned. Rune then committed suicide afterwards. Thanks to that one incident. Alright, Jenkins. Thanks for stopping by. To expand Zivite's thoughts to the thanks to that one incident, our dream, Sid's, Ellen's, and mine, to expand Zivite's throughout the outer pole was completely scrapped. You are very welcome, Jenkins. Thank you for lightening mine on stopping by. You, sir, are a truly good person, and I hope to see you in my future streams. I was at a sincere loss for words. Just what could possibly drive Rune to do all that? Bye, Jenkins. At just 10 years of age, we had heard that she had a problem child of sorts. No, this is far beyond that. The devil's spawn? She certainly does live up to that nickname. What was her motive? There must have been something that pushed her to do that, right? We couldn't find anything like that. Rune had an abnormality in her brain. You see, a portion of her brain wasn't working. Even if she was able to understand emotions like happiness, sadness, and anger, she couldn't feel them herself. She didn't feel fear or guilt, nor was she able to develop a sense of compassion. But could someone have developed such destructive tendencies simply because of a lack of emotion? I don't know. Maybe Rune was special. But at this point, there's no way for us to find out. Sorry to interrupt, but I finished the connection. Are you alright, Delphine? You look a little pale there. Yes. Do we continue from earlier? Yes. Alright. You're on. It's about the Zivite siblings. Now I have to warn you, it's going to be rather disturbing. Are you sure you want to keep going? We are. This should get interesting. A few years has passed since Sid spoke with the priest. A number of his victims continued to multiply drastically. Then one day, someone from the church came across evidence exposing the conclusion between the government, Haves, and the Board of Science. That was the clincher. Had a strong interest in mana and did not have any difficulty studying. Rudo simply loved to learn. I remember him often telling Inning that he was bored by the lessons at the academy. Behavioral issues. She always had a frown on her face, and the only time she ever smiled when people got hurt. Everything she did had some trace of Malent to it. Wherever her actions were, they were always to cause people problems. And one day, Rune finally did something that put the final nail into the coffin. Rune stabbed the Garul's family son eye with a stick, causing him to lose it. The whole incident with the Garuls, what a mess. No kidding. I wonder, what caused Rune to do that? Why was she not satisfied with something? I don't know. Elaine, she's just heartbroken. On the outside, she puts on a smile and says she's fine, but she's starving herself feel sorry for Rudu as well. I hope he isn't getting into shame or mistreated in school. This might be a good opportunity for him. Maybe. It's about time. Age-wise, two. Right? Oh, whoa. He lost in his own thoughts. Huh. After Gurul incident, Rudu had stopped attending school. The reason was never said out loud, but it was obvious. Rudu was just around 10 years old when he began to work as a trainee in Zavite. He studied daily in Lab 9, said to be the very best in the industry for producing top researchers, and started becoming more and more involved. No, inverted. No, involved. No, introverted. Now that I think about it, it must have been tough for him. As a child, Rudu was somewhat lacking in imagination. To be blunt, he wasn't fit to be a researcher. Both I and the other members of the lab thought so. Rudu truly had a talent for learning. However, he had difficulty coming up with anything new that was outside what he what was taught to him. They were expecting him to have an eccentric imagination just as Sid did when he was young, but unfortunately it was all for naught. On the other hand, he was very careful not to offend people with his words or actions and was very considerate of others. Rudu was skilled in reading other people's emotions. As time passed, everyone around him slowly came to see him as someone who wouldn't succeed Sid. A few years after Rudu began working in Lab 9, Rune's house arrest, the consequences of the gorilla incident, was lifted. Rune was often brought by her home tutor to visit the lab. As time passed, it became clear. Though Rudu said it was to be a prodigy in his attitude, aptitude for learning, Rune greatly exceeded his capabilities. Just a few months after Rune started to take trips to Lab 9, she was able to answer the unresolved battery problem that had been plaguing the sister's machine for years. Everyone was speechless. It was then I saw a glimpse of Sid's investment is, and not against sending her off to school, but I just don't see the point. I've heard you already, Sid. I want to hear what Alves has to say in the matter. Hey, Alves, what do you think? Could I have your honest opinion? Should Rune go to school, or I don't see any problem with that. 6 whole years have passed since the incident with the Guru boy. That's not the point. She's been studying in Lab 9 all this time. What do you expect her to pick up at school? I think it was a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I'm not referring to her studying. We need to reintroduce her to society. She doesn't even have anyone her age that she can call a friend. We need to at least try and let her live a normal life. Who exactly determines what normal and what isn't? I agree with Sebastian. Rather than holding her up to the dimly lit, holding her up in that dimly lit laboratory, I'd rather she lives more like a young lady than she is. Excuse me. Haha, pretty surprising to hear from you, Line, considering how insistent you were about her education. Well, of course, she still has to maintain her studies. However, I think far too hard in that direction. She may look perfectly comfortable with how she is now, but I think she needs to interact with other children her age as well. Really don't share that opinion, Sid. If you're asking me for my personal opinion, I don't think people's skills are all they're cracking up. If she keeps at that, then she's gonna end up picking them up, whether she likes it or not. I swear, why is this man just so? Said you really should think about your abilities as a little more. Your standards are well and far removed from. I'm going to turn this down just a bit. Are far removed from what is considered as normal. Well, all that aside, my final decision is to let Rune choose what she wants to do. I don't plan to rob her of her ability to choose. She's got the right to do so. I knew it. Do you agree with him then, Abbas? I do. Considering Rune's age, it really should be both of you making the final decision, but certainly agreeing with respecting her opinion as well. Well, I'll go have Rune undergo a physical examination. I'll let the hospitals know too. Thank you, Abbas. Really. I hope Rune appreciates the sentiment. It was a few weeks after that. Just before Rune was beginning to enroll in the academy, she had an exam done in the lab. Using the MRI device that Sid developed, I examined Rune's brain. 1 second, I just got a text message. Wonderful. What the? Is the machine malfunctioning? No, that's impossible. We just conducted maintenance on this yesterday. It's calibrated just right too. Can't be a problem with the machine. Abbas, these are Rune scans, right? Is this even possible? This means she can't feel any emotions. That's absurd. A human like this couldn't exist. Don't tell anyone about this, Nichelle Volstad. Elaine is in an especially sensitive time right now. When the timing is right, I will tell Sid in advance. The portion of Rune's brain which controlled human emotions was non-functional. What exactly this means, none of the members of the lab nor I knew at the time. While concealing Rune's name, we asked other staff in the Medica, but not a single person even knew of the condition. But it was obvious that something was wrong. The MRI itself was still new, young technology. However, the very first person to respond to this was Rudu. Rudu clearly knew something that we didn't. It was a few months after Rune was admitted into the academy when he revealed it to us. What is this book? Lie Spotting. A book about physique nature of lies and how to detect them. Oh, Abbas. Good evening, Rudu. I have to talk with you. What's the matter? Rudu's story came out of nowhere. Rune is killing small animals at a nearby park. Honestly, it sounded so absurd that I couldn't believe what he told us. Ever since the gorilla incident, Rune had grown up to be a good girl. Deep in my heart, I harbored a small doubt. What if Rudu was using that brain scan as a prison so he could get revenge on Rune? He had more than enough reason and motive to do so. Against a gentle Rune, Rudu must have felt desperate, given their positions. I don't expect you to believe it, though. How do I even react? Have you told Sid and Elaine? No. Well, not directly. I kind of played it off saying that Rune might be up to something bad again. If I didn't, I'm sure Mom would get hurt again. I see. Yes. The only person I could talk to about it is you. Is you, Abbas. Sorry, Rudu. I think the only thing you can do for now is to keep an eye on the situation. If I can do anything to help, I'd be more than happy to. But right now, even if everything you told me is true, it still is enough to justify taking action right now. If I brought up the topic saying that I heard everything from you, if I decided to ignore it, then that will be the end of it. You're right. Whoa. Okay, you're right. By the way, what is this book for? Wait, is this? We're taking measures against Rune? Yes. Rudy, do you think Rune is a chronicle liar? I'm not sure. But Rune displays far too many tendencies that are described in this book. Such as? For example, people who lie habitually are very conspicuous by nature. They hate staying in a single place, Once they get bored with things, they tend to head elsewhere. Now that you mention it, she did say she wanted to see the outside world. Not just that. They're always smiling, but only their mouth, that is, in the smile, while their eyes remain expressionless. Whenever you talk to them, they end up looking at you straight in the eyes too much. There's a lot of people in town who haven't accepted Rune. When I asked them why exactly, they told me they couldn't on biological level. I think it's an instinctive repulsion on her behavior. Even if the person in question is an adult or a child, when they have something that feels foreign to us, they become the target of fear and alienation. I think Rune already knows she's causing people to feel disgust at her, and she's intentionally behaving that way. More than that, Rudu, I'm sure Rune is planning something. She's building up her knowledge so she can trick us. There's got to be something she has planned. Something much worse than the Gruel incident. Wait just a moment, Rudu. Are you jumping to conclusions here? She's such a good girl this whole time. Now, I'm not going to completely ignore what you're saying, but as an adult, I have to... I have the obligation to look at everything fairly and impartially. I'm sorry. I may have said too much. I wasn't exaggerating. Even now, I still remember the conversation clear as day. I paid no attention to Rudu's warning. That was the first greatest mistake I've made in my entire life. A few weeks after Ellen collapsed, and several days later, 12 of the top brass from the vice business partners died from processed one poison. Rune disappeared from the mansion. Another few days after that, a transport ship arrives at the outer pool. Rune's body is found on board. Weeks after that, Elaine breathed her last breath while in the Vice Medica. Those events constantly play themselves back in my mind over and over and over. From that point forward, John Vang, I decided to do a change in schedule because I don't want to leave this on a cliffhanging because I'm going to Florida pretty soon, and I don't feel like waiting a whole week or about a week and a half to play this game again. And I'm pretty sure those who enjoy this game and who are watching to watch the story probably won't be able to wait. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow do the Subnautica stream, and then after that I'm going to cancel Xenonauts because Xenonauts obviously isn't working at the moment. Or, well, I mean, it's working, like, the game is working, but for the channel, not working at all. I'm going to basically put World of Warships there instead. It'll most likely be a very, very long World of Warships stream because on that day, I gotta leave at 3:15 to get on an aircraft, so... But don't worry, John Wayne. Tomorrow, there's gonna be a long World of Warships live stream. That's for sure. Anyways, let's continue on with the story. From that point forward, the Vite began to collapse in on itself. Sid, having faced no greater calamity than this, was broken. Even though he had endured all the trials and difficulties of his past, Sid just completely broke down. He wouldn't even listen to me or Rudu. His work at the company went peculiarly untouched. Instead, he hauled himself up inside Lab 9 and barred anyone else entry. It was on one of those days. It was just as the Sisters project was approaching completion. In the end, the church refused to make use of the Sisters, but the frames that were built were repurposed to work in the mana mines instead. During a meeting to discuss where the Sisters were to be deployed, Sid suddenly showed up. What? You want to pay the Sisters for their work? That's right. I want their service comprehended. What brought this on? Why? We're just barely scraping by as it is. Why should we pay machines of all things? Because that's an order. Anyone who objects is fired. End of story. Sir, Sid. Are you serious, sir? Well, you guys deal with that then. Wait a minute, Sid. This is an abuse of power. Just tell us why. We'll listen to you. Why the hell do I have to explain every single damn thing I have to say? Even if I took time to explain it, you're all just a bunch of idiots who wouldn't understand, so I don't even bother. All you need to do is just follow what I say like servants you are. What's the matter with you, Sid? If all these people weren't here with you, Zvite might as well have been never existed. Who's the one who holds power? Me! I don't need to take any smack from people without any vision. What the hell? Just abandon your job like that? Do you have any idea how deep in danger the company is right now? What did you say, boy? Open your damn eyes, you senile old man. Your job as the CEO of the company is to reassure everyone working here. Did you forget that? What the hell happened to your sense of right and wrong? Your morals? Were you this weak that you can't even stick to them now? That your wife is gone? You're sure spouting some pretty big words for someone who ain't even half a man, eh, Rudu? Get a grip, Dad. That's how things are right now. I don't need damn sympathy from the likes of you freaking kid. Y'all can pretend to run the company for all I care, but this is my company. I built it from the ground up, and I can raise it to the ground if I damn well please. Holy shite, this guy's lost it. Now you better follow my orders. And anyone who gets in the way of my research, Sir, he's vomiting blood. Hey Sid, are you alright? Don't touch me. Sir, Sid. Damn it. That night, I was called by Rudu. Rudu. Just who exactly is Rudu Zavat? Come again? This morning, when I looked in the mirror, I saw a man I didn't even know. The man didn't have a shred of sadness in him when his little sister passed away. In fact, I am feeling nothing but relief. Rudu. My little sister should never have been born. She should have just hit her head against something and died when she was young. And now, I'm finally free. Such were the man's sad, heartless thoughts. Now, Abbas, is Rudu Zavite, you know, the kind young man that would harbor... Hello! Welcome. Harbor those thoughts? Was he a person with such a warped heart that he wouldn't instead rejoice in his sister's death rather than mourn it? However, there's still something I owe my gratitude to that thing for. That devil in disguise taught me one thing and one thing only: that people are always controlled by their emotions. In this era, what we need are logic and rationality. The only people who have the right to talk about emotions or sympathy are those who thoroughly pursue logic and rationality. My father was unable to do that. He's a weak man who tried to devote himself to some sorry excuse of philanthropy, but couldn't even follow through all the way. Rudu. There are far too many barriers in this world. Sid Zavite has been taken over by madness. His time is over. From now on, I shall lead Zavite. I have the power to. That day, the dam that had been holding Rudu back finally broke. His growth since then was incredible. That kind, warm Rudu was nowhere to be found. He had truly changed as a person. Although he was just a mediocre in terms of research, his track record in management easily dwarfed Sid's. Rudu put forth an avant-garde plan to save Zavite. In order to deal with the mass murder that Rune committed, he established a corporate system. By taking in outside investors as members of the company's board of directors, he succeeded in changing the company's image from family business to corporation. Rudu, why wasn't I prepared a seat here? Well, now, your seat certainly has been prepared, Mr. Gaville. Because I damned for one, that's why. You don't tell me you've forgotten what your sister has done. Thanks to that girl, I lost my family, and my life has been ruined. Your father seems to have understood these circumstances, but what about you? Don't tell me that just because you've taken his place, you consider the past all water under the bridge, do you? For the love of... The father has gone completely insane. The son freely abuses his position, and the daughter is damned murdered. Is a damned murderer. Just what is wrong with your family, huh? I've been working in this company for 10 years, and you don't treat me accordingly. You better watch out, you little punk. Graville, did you just... I see. If I don't treat you accordingly, I had better watch out. Is that it? I do have one younger brother. And there are times at point where I wonder if he's gone insane sometimes, but I'll be honest, I can't imagine being an only child. That must actually not be fun because, well, yeah. But I guess you can make up for that by having friends. By doing your best to make friends. That's the best way to make up for that. Because I have friends that I can consider family. I have friends who I can consider siblings. That I can trust. Same amount of trust I can put in my brother. That's why friends are invaluable. Anyways, let's continue on. My, you sure have quite a head on those shoulders. What did you just... You little kid, are you trying to say that at Mr. Gaville? Do you understand the situation you're in? Right now, you're dancing on stage, front and center. Listen. To this company, you're nothing but a persistent little stain on the glass window. Leaving you on or wiping you off, there's real no difference. However... But the more it stands out, the more eyesore it becomes. Alrighty. Grrr. Don't worry, Mr. Gaville. There's no need to flounder about like that. Having gotten ramifications for both your one-eyed son and your wife, you can truly consider yourself a success in life. You can relax and let that fat belly of yours hang out as you enjoy your life to the fullest. Why, you son of a... If some talent burden like you even thinks of trying something, I'll have you swept out like garbage that you are. Urgh. Why you? Who do you think you are? You son of a bitch. I don't take abuse from little shit talk like you, son of a bitch. Don't think I'm gonna take this line down. I'm going to whittle you down to your goddamn bones. Mark my words. Ooh-wee. That got intense right there. Rudu, I can see what you're getting at, but don't you think you went a little too far back there? Too far? What do you mean? About Gaville? He ain't nothing to concern yourself over, Abbas. More importantly, now that we've become a public trade company, there are far bigger things to worry about beyond Gaville. The problem are only about to start. Just as Rudu said, we lost a great number of excellent employees. However, we also gained many talented young employees. With the passage of each year, Rudu continued to rescue Zvite from the brink of closure. The company's full of warmth that Sid and Ellen had once protected now changed from an efficient system. Zvite grew to many times the size since Sid has first established it. It had even recovered to the point where it could trade blows with Haven. Anyway, sorry about that. My dinner got here. Yum. Popcorn chicken. Anyway, let's continue. Rune System Corporation and stocks planted the idea of investing even among the common lawman, and created an interest in the business as a whole. Thanks to that, Haven found it difficult to get by on just marketing alone. Since then, Haven and Zvite have been competing primarily on the technological front. Sisters, subjects, medicine, medica, energy, pharmaceuticals, information technology. A new era may dawn on the outer pole. The people of the inner pole could no longer look down upon us. I believe we were able to build up an equal respectable level of technology. It was then. An appointment? What do you mean I need an appointment? Well, it is company policy. Oh, come on, miss. Don't be such a hard ass. I just need to talk with a couple of minutes. Well, hurts. Yo, Abbas, perfect timing. Alright, you can forget about him. I'll deal with this. Yes, sir. Jeez, what happened? Everything's gotten all by the book now. Director of the company changed and all. Time's changing. Ow, my jaw. Oh, that was painful. Changing, eh? I hate it. I tell you. Everyone's trying to be goody two-shoes now. What's the point of following the times over and over like that? Hurts Vaughn, you never change, do you? But really, why do you just tell her your name? If you just said your Gould name, she would have easily passed you through to your uncle. Stop it, man. Just thinking about how me and that guy are actually related is depressing. Duly noted. Has your dad still not reconciled with you? You with me or my uncle? Your uncle. Can't say. I suppose when one of them kicks the bucket, the other will probably show up at their funeral. My dad, he took Marcus in, cared for him like he was his own son. Whatever happened in their place is none of my business. While my uncle let the money get to his head a little too much. He got filthy rich, and he didn't give us a cent to help raise a kid. Hurts. Well, that's all in the past now. As long as he doesn't show his smug around me, then I ain't got to do anything. It's really been a while. Just hearing that laugh of yours puts me at ease. That's cause someone like me, my laugh's only a selling point. And how are you doing lately, Abbas? Looking more and more like an old foggy I see. You would too if you had to deal with this much work. You guys should stop playing businessman and drop by a tavern once in a while. I'm sure Sid and Rudy would get a lot on their plates, but you need a breather once in a while too. That is true. By the way, what brings you here today? Oh yeah, that's right. See, Sid stopped putting in orders for clothes all of a sudden. He's always had me work on something at least every once in a half year. But we haven't met for a whole year now. So I decided to just drop by and pay a visit. What's with that look in your eyes? Something happened? Hurts. Sid is not doing very well right now. He's been like that ever since Ellen and Rune passed away. He's holed up in a lab working on who knows what, like a man possessed. Who knows what? So it's not work? He isn't even in the right condition to do any work now. Sid just refused to listen to anyone. And when he talks, he either gives some nonsense order or says something outrageous. Rudu's taking the reins and is leading Zvite now. Rudu is? That's amazing! That shy little kid's taking over? You might not even recognize who he is if you met him, Hurts. Rudu's completely changed. Actually, ever since that incident with Rune, everything's changed. Is that so? Hey, let me meet with Sid. Eh? You should just leave him alone for now. Aw, come on, it'll be fine. If he wasn't busy to work, then I'd think twice, but if he's just twiddling his thumbs, then that'd be a different story. Excuse me? A lot more serious than that. Serious? That's just what you think. Hurts? That's just what you think. But you haven't seen what Sid's like now. And how do you think I'm gonna see if you won't let me? Hurts. Look here, Abbas. In my whole entire life, Sid's the toughest son of a bitch I've ever met. He's always stuck to his guns, no matter whatever his life threw at him. And you're telling me he broke down? That just means he needs a little tune-up, that's all. I'll slap some sense into him. Alright, but you better not regret this. Is that you, Abbas? He looks like crap. The only one who could have demanded signature to open that door lock are you and Ellen. I told you not to come in here, didn't I? Hey, Abbas, answer me. Hey, good old Hertzvon here too. Sorry, Sid, I had to talk. Evan just letting me drop in. Hertzvon, what do you want? What I want? What don't I want, Sid? You've been my regular for over 15 years now. If you're gonna just suddenly stop showing up, then of course I gotta worry. I'm gonna worry. Which is why I'm paying you a visit. Is that so? Abbas, Hertzvon, anything. Get out. I'm busy. Hey now, what's with the greeting? I'm telling you to get the hell out of here. I don't got time to waste on either of you. Sid? Don't touch him, Abbas. What? We need to get him to a doctor. Sid, just how long have you been hacking your lungs up? That ain't none of your damn business. I'm getting a doctor now. Don't you dare call a doctor, Abbas. What? Why, he's bleeding profusely here. If we just leave him like that, then don't make me repeat myself. You call a doctor, and I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Why? Speak up, Sid. When did these systems start showing up? Damn it, answer me. I can't even watch this. I see you can't even speak straight. Look me straight into the eyes and nod or shake your head. You damn sure you don't need a doctor? No. No. Piss off. Alright, if that's how you want it, Sid. Abbas, we're taking off. But just shut up and get over here. Come on, we're leaving. Wow. Why didn't we call a doctor, Hertz? How could you stay calm after seeing Sid like that? Ah, well, calm down for... How could I possibly calm down? He looked like he was on the verge of dying. If we were to leave him be, then... You don't get it, do you, Abbas? Get? What is there to get? You've been with him for too long. You can't see the big picture anymore. Relax. Once you've calmed down, you'll figure it out. What are you talking about? At this rate, he'll... Look, if you really care about Sid, then you just need to leave him be. Let him do what he wants. Abbas, I'm only going to say this once, so listen up. The best thing you can do for Sid right now is to let the man die doing what his heart desires. Well, I've said my piece. Whether you decide to listen or not is all on you. That stubborn son of a bitch. But I can rest easy now. See you around, Sid. Entry number 9. Just a little longer. I'm almost. It was a week later. I simply could not let Sid be, and I decided to head back to Lab 9. Then it... Abbas! Sir Abbas, we have an emergency. Valent, what's wrong? You look gassed. Sid has activated Lab's 9 emergency protocol. He what? All the backup mana lines have been cut. That's absurd. The emergency protocol fills the entire lab with colored mana. If a living human being is in there, he'll... Do you think Sid is trying to commit suicide? Fool, get Rudu in here now. Curry, come with me. I don't even know how to pronounce the name, but I'll do my best. We need to find a way to stop the protocol. Yes, sir. Of all the interruptions. So how much time has passed since the activation? Rudu, I hear the backup man lines have been severed. Is there any valuable equipment inside? Who cares? Sid is. Sid is still in there. He is? So he is. Oh well. Let's get a doctor on standby just in case. I swear I'm already pressed for time as it is. I don't have the time to deal with funeral arrangements. How dare you? Why do you look so expressive, Albas? Sid's wife died long time ago. All that's left in there is a deranged hollow shell that reminds me of him. Enough, Rudu. If he died doing whatever it is he wanted doing, then good for him. Shut up! How dare you speak about your father like that? Is that how you address the person who gave you life? Sir, Rudu, Albatross, the door's opening. Seems the cleansing is finished. I found Sid's body inside the lab. Everything looks so sparkly. He died from actual mana shock due to the sudden influx of colored mana, just as Rune had. Sid! What are you trying to accomplish here? The entire company, Lab 9, was packed with most expensive equipment. Among the equipment there were some sensitive instruments constantly that had the mana flowing through them, otherwise they would have broken down. Kirki, lend me a hand. We need to restore the lines. We can't see a thing in darkness. Understood. When Kirki and Vothel reconnected the backup lines which Sid had disconnected that we discovered. What? Time froze. What lay beside Sid's corpse was... Okay then! I don't believe it. What is this? Is that a new sister prototype? Chapter what? 6. Bash. So that's the... Oh, no, this is impossible. She's gotta be a human, right? Clearly. No, there's no mistaking it. There doesn't seem to be a pulse. I can see the iris in the cameras of its eyes. Whoa, it moved. It moved! Alright, who activated it? We didn't even touch it. It just started moving on its own. Can you talk? Do you have a voice feature? Hello. Hello, world. It seems to be a type that can speak. Do you have a name? Name? What is a name? It looks like there wasn't any basic information loaded in it. A name is a term that serves as an identifier for oneself. My name is Volfit. This guy is Kirki. He's Albas, and the man over there is Rudu. Rudu? Oh, it seems to recognize Rudu's face. Rudu. Brother. Must be some kind of mistake. You don't have a name, right? Name? Something that serves as my identifier. I cannot remember. But I remember being called something a long time ago. Then from now on, you are Sarah. Remember that. The project's file title? How arbitrary. Sarah. Indeed. If you are asked by anyone, then you are introduce yourself as Sarah. That is an order. Understood. Is this going to be deployed at the church? The church? Ah, it's something that happened before you joined the company. Before, when both Sid and his wife were still alive. There was agreement to create sisters who looked just like humans for the Abbey. They would take care of the victims of Haven's operations. But ultimately, we weren't able to create any sisters to the standards of quality they demanded. They said that even though they looked human internally, they were lacking on the inside. Damn it, Dad. What were you even thinking? was later discovered that Sid had falsified financial records without the accountants knowing. He had laundered vast sum of money to develop a new prototype sister. Did Sid not leave a single memo in this? On this, all the documents of the mana wave and the software in the terminal equipped had been purged because of the emergency protocol. And his planner? Sid always carried a planner around with him, making sure to take notes on everything. About that, it's been burned to a crisp. Burned? That's not all. Every single document Sid kept here for the last 2-3 years were all burned. Seeing how all of his notes and documents must have been destroyed so excruciatingly, he must have intended on getting rid of it all. But why would Sir Sid have kept working to create this prototype sister up until his death? I've already told you about this. He was frustrated with his greatest failure in Zevite Enterprise history. When we partnered with the church, he promised the abbot that we would make a sister that would be no different than a human being. But ultimately, we just could not deliver on that. I'm sure he wanted to put the final nail in the coffin on that before he died. Sid must have wanted to finish his greatest failure in life, the sister project. No, that couldn't be it. What makes you say that? If he wanted to create sisters for the church to use, then he wouldn't have truly met his goal if they couldn't produce in mass. But he intentionally burned all of his notes and documents to prevent that. I told you, he wasn't thinking about mass production, or even the company itself. He must have wanted to settle his personal conflict with himself. Otherwise, why would he have felt the need to steal funding from his own company? But still, what is the meaning of destroying all his documents? There must have been some other driving force behind it. Gentlemen, you are certainly mistaken about the problem at hand. Sorry about that, someone came in. Anyways, whatever my father was thinking, there is no way for us to ever understand it. To question the motives of a madman, the mere act is another waste of time. Alas, we don't have the time of wasting on foolish things like this. The amount of money that Sid had illegally channeled into this project of his is enormous. I'm sure there will be a meeting on the board of directors about whether or not this new sister prototype justified its cost. I must go make preparations for that. Please return to your respective workstations, everyone. Yes, you are right. It is rather hard to swallow all of this right now, but I understand. I need to recompose my thoughts. Once the date of the meeting is set, please let me know. Rudu, we need to talk. I hope this isn't more useless banter, Albaz. Enough, Rudu. Look at that model of this sister. Doesn't anything come to mind? Look. It's clearly Rune. Right there. Right, and you thought I didn't notice either. Then why didn't you say anything about that? Because it's a matter of trivial importance. So what if I thought she looked like Rune? The minor detail has no bearing on the current situation. Well, there is something I'm now certain of, which is Sid Zavestis was truly ill. While still bitter about the loss of his daughter, he was infuriated with pretending that he could bring her back to life. How disgraceful. Sid Savet is the renowned scientist of the era, certainly has fallen far. Well now, it goes without saying that the issue at hand is the numbers, our finances. I believe it is best we not discuss this with anyone else. I don't want to cause any additional causes for concern for the board of directors. On that, and only that point, I do agree with you. I sincerely hope that this thing has enough value to warrant its construction. Please start preparing for the meeting as well. mannerisms. Tell me, have you ever encountered a machine that could possibly respond this naturally, this humanly? Regardless of Sid's psychological instability, this sister is still a work of genius. The work which he put his entire life into. Until we can understand the original behind this construction, I believe we need to continue observing it. It's almost disgusting the way it looks so realistic. As if it really were a human. And why? What is the expression on your face? Why is it some kind of fiction to upset people on purpose? No, I apologize. As if it has emotion as well. This has to have been a sister for this church to use. For it to have emotions recreated this well, it has to be a model of a sister created for an original purpose, no doubt about it. Ha! Impossible. We need to scrap this or get rid of it as soon as possible. Despite that small frame, it possesses the strength of 10 men. If it decides to rebel against us, then who knows what could happen. Refusing to listen to other people's opinions as always, I see. Always screaming, no, no, and you can still call yourself an adult. I was asked for my opinion, and I gave it. And I believe the same goes for you, regardless of how you choose to view it. To be honest, board member F, to be honest, this scares me. I cannot, in good faith, agree with letting a machine, whose thoughts and process we don't even understand, loose. I don't think those fears are really justified. Sarah can speak perfectly well, and is able to understand what we are saying. You only have to approach it to understand it. Understand that it's not something dangerous. Besides, Sid couldn't have built something intended to be harmful to others. Considering Sid's mental state at that time, I find that assertion rather hard to believe. God, the back of my throat is killing me. Have you all forgotten about the money that was poured into making Sarah in the first place? Well, is it just created to serve as some kind of trophy? To be put in a goldfish bowl of some sort? If that was created as a mere pet project, then I refuse to stand for this. We need to do something right now to mitigate our losses. But if we don't have any time to observe her, then it looks like we need to take a vote on this matter. By majority vote, it was decided to observe Sarah. In a few weeks since, Sarah slowly formed memories and personalities. At first, she spoke very curtly and did only what she was told. As time went on, she slowly became more and more human-like to the point where other people wouldn't even notice she was a machine. Although there were many skeptics among the board of directors, they all eventually accepted the fact that Sarah was something special. Soon after, she was placed in a field test to work in the mana mines temporarily under my supervision. Wow, there's so many first-generation models of the sisters here, Abbas. About 90% of those working here miners are sisters that we built, in fact. Good morning, everyone. Please do make your acquaintance. Sister A, Sister B, Sister C. All the sisters here do not speak. They are all purpose-built miners, so they don't have any excess functions. I see. It's going to be a bit lonely. Do you really think that? Excuse me? Does that really make you feel lonely? Well, I wonder why I didn't think about it would be lonely. Why did I think it'd be lonely? I'm not sure if feel is the right word either. But the first thing that came to mind was that it would be lonely. Sarah worked diligently at his job. However, when compared to the sister designed specifically for the work in the mines, the results were nothing spectacular. Ultimately, it was determined that Sarah was not designed for mining work. And at the very least, we had determined that Sarah had no peculiar abilities apart from being incredibly likeness to humans. It seems that its memories are constantly growing, day by day. Every time these two are anywhere near each other, she's always sad, and I don't like it. like her. She's cool. I like her. Ritona and her are my favorite. Are my two favorite. I have absolutely no idea how it's built. Then shall we dismantle it and find out? If you wish to know what makes it tick, that's the fastest way to do so. I can't do that. If we dismantle it, then we'd be we would be unable to reassemble it. That is the consequence of all the Maynards of Lab 9 members. The board of directors wouldn't even let us dismantle it, given our current level of technology. Excuse me. What is it? I don't think my name is Sarah. What? I don't quite remember very well, but I think a long time ago, Rune used to be my name. Uh-oh. they like, uh-oh. Yeah, I like that. Wait. No, wrong way. Oh, the sweat goes away. Do you mean in your Rudu, my brother, Sarah, between your perfect faulty memory, or we say, which do you think is more credible? Everything those so-called memories of yours is all vile, a lie, a sham. All of it was implanted by your creator Sid Vivat as some kind of sick joke. Don't ever utter the name Rune again. That is an order. Understood. Ever since Sarah's confession, Rudu's attitude toward her completely changed. Why does Sarah have Rune's memories inside of her? Did Sid actually intend to bring Rune back to life like this? Calling herself Rune, behaving like Rune. Something as simple as been child's play for Sid. But that isn't Rune. That wouldn't have been nothing but a fake, created copy of Rune. Just what was Sid thinking? There's no merit to this. That's not true at all. Sid's original plan for the system was to introduce them to the church and let them take care of the patients. And as proof that, I brought Sarah to the abbot the other day, and not once during the entire time did they realize that Sarah was a machine. And despite all of that, they still gave us their disapproval. Honestly, it's just disgusting. There isn't a man alive who would ever feel comfortable around that bucket of bolts. I can't even tell when it's around or not because it doesn't look alive. And just look at that face. Who knows what's going on inside its head? I wholeheartedly agree with you. Even as the member of Lab 9 also passionately asserted that Sarah has the mana mechanism to mimic emotions, what merit is there for being able to reproduce that function? I'd love to hear some concrete, usual applications for this. Well, the fact that the church denied the proposal means that there'll be another hurdle to jump when it comes to using them in the Medica. If we continue to shove this new model of sisters down their throats, then we would be sowing unnecessarily discords between us and the people whom we worked so hard to partner with. We will not use it in media, nor will we use it in the church. In other words, there's no merit to mass producing these. Rudu, why are you stubborn all of a about this? I wouldn't have expected that opinion from you. She may be the one and only automatron built in this entire world. She has been built in equal with this so-called emotional mechanism. If Sid was able to create something like that, then who knows what other mana power inventions lay ahead. Because what is a person? What is a conscience? What are emotions? This may lead to huge discoveries about the very philosophy of humans themselves. Certainly mass production may be out of the question, but that does not mean we can just disregard her entirely. I too refuse to change my opinion on this. At the very least, I believe that this is far too early to scrap her. And here we are, back at square one. Abbas, what do you think of this? I think that's far too early to dismantle her as well. While the system running inside her certainly piques my interest, I can't even begin to understand what Sid's intentions were. I'm slowly beginning to think that Sid wasn't entirely mad when he created Sarah. Not quite the answer I was expecting, but that means that you're also opposed to dismantling her, yes? Very well. We shall continue to observe it. See you all tomorrow. Excuse me, Albas? Sarah, what are you doing out here at this hour? Have you completed your task for today? Just a short while ago, actually. I see, which means you're off the clock now. May I have a moment to speak with you? Why the formality all of a sudden? Well, just what am I? That's quite the frank question. Am I on the inside, at least? Really? Don't worry, Rudu won't know a word about this. Speak your mind. Well, I was just created 2 years ago, right? You were. It's strange. Inside me, what seems to be childhood memories, they stretch all the way back to years and years ago, but I was just created only recently, so that can't be true. Abbas, just what am I? Am I a machine that was just born to be a tool? If that's the case, then why were they born with these memories? I have no idea. As for just what those memories are inside you, the only person who can answer that question is no longer on this world. That's Sid, right? Correct. Was Sid an intellectual part of your life? Integral part of your life, Albas? Yes. He was my best friend. We were practically like brothers ever since we were children. Does Ridu take issue to the fact that I have these memories? Well, they certainly don't put him in a good mood, that's for sure. Sarah, let me just give you one word of advice, okay? Okay. Don't ever cause any trouble. I'll be frank with you. Rudu has been wanting to dispose of you under the guise of dismantlement. He will find even decisive excuse to do so, regardless of how minor or trivial the reason is. Is that because of the memories inside of me? That's right. Look, Sarah, I want you to listen carefully. If, and only if, you're about to do something wrong, consider that you are betting your entire life, your entire being on the line. Do it with the resolve of that. That will be the end of everything. My entire being? That's right. You seem to have an ego, a proper sense of self-identity. There will come a time for you to assert that sense of self. I'm sure of it. Myself? But I'm not on property of the Vite Enterprise. If that is the case, then I shouldn't have the right to bet myself, do I? Only if you were just a machine. This is important. You will come to understand someday or another. Another year passed. Lab 9 was about to produce 3 new prototypes using Sarah as their model. However, not a single one operated as well as Sid's own creation. There was clearly something fundamentally different about Sarah. Far too much time had passed with us not knowing what it really was. The board of directors had been split between those who wanted to observe and those who wanted to dismantle Sarah. Some members switched from observe to dismantle. This was about a month ago. With that, Sarah's dismantlement seemed all the more reality. As days went on, Sarah's intellect grew rapidly. Using her own methods to measuring and improving efficiency in both the mines and the routine work in residential areas, she began to finish her task ahead of everyone else. That kind of work ethic and behavior was just like runes. Exactly like runes. From there, more and more people began to develop a disgust for Sarah's very existence. I think it was because she was too different. There was something about her existence that just triggered something in you instinctively, just like Rune did. A group of people began to consider her a threat subconsciously. The ones who've been most affected by this was none other than Rudu himself. Rudu, is it true? Did you erase Sarah's memories? Seems like Sarah's brain is protected by several layers of security. We'll also Nichite and Chris managed to find a way to bypass the first level. I'm not asking you to explain how, I'm asking why you erased her memories. All of the experience, the information, and the knowledge she accumulated. Albaz, you should have realized this by now. It seems that Sid succeeded in resurrecting Rune's memories quite faithfully into Sarah's. How he managed to do so, I have no idea. The way she moves and acts, they're all very reminiscent of Rune's own behavior. And what does that have to do with why you erased her? What does that have to do with it, you ask? Plenty. If by some chance even some small portion of Rune's own personality exists within Sarah, then there could be no greater threat. I'm sure you are fully aware how dangerous Rune was. But I'd like to hear an explanation for all this. Do you enlighten me on why things have turned out this way? I'm sorry, sir. I honestly have no clue. Theoretically, all our methods should be working. You do know what your name is? Yes. My name is Sarah. It was given to me by Rudu. Looks like it's not working. That's strange. We're doing the erasure protocol by the book. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it. Sir, Rudu is just a guess. But we probably need the highest level of access privilege in order to erase them. What should I... If your memories haven't been erased, then you ought to know already. Go back to work. Leave. Sarah, what's wrong at this time of night? Albaz. You said that Sid was your best friend and an integral part of your life, right? What brought this on all of a sudden? Friends are important, right? Well, of course they are. Is there anyone more important in your life than your friends and family? Thank you. Sarah, why of all the times for you to cause trouble? Why at this critical point? You knew that there's going to be a violation regarding 4 days from now. Oh, voting. I remember. I remember the advice you gave me a long time ago. Advice? Good grief, what is it this time? I swear, another emergency summon. Oh. Oh, Sarah. What do you even know how to greet someone? Good afternoon, Mr. Gavills. Really nothing but a defective piece of junk. I hear you even stole sediment from the mines earlier. What an absolute waste. We really should have dismantled you as soon as possible. I apologize. Discussing that matter is exactly why we have gathered here today. Please reserve your arguments for until the other members have come. And just how many do you expect to come? Your academics in your irony tower may not know, but other members of the board of directors are already speaking of dismantling has been assured. You ought to be careful that you ought to be grateful that I even bothered to go to the efforts of attending this meeting to confirm all this. Wow. I almost forgot about these people. Almost. Sarah. So that's how it is. I finally understand. You don't seem to quite grasp. The entire series of the events has truly been bizarre. What Sarah is actually, yes? Indeed. However, I absolutely do not want to see her dismantled. Something inside tells me so. Tomorrow her dismantlement will be decided upon. I must come up with a way to protect her from that after all that meeting. Is that even possible? Is the board of directors or something going to determine that by majority vote? If Rudu for some reason changes his mind, then I'm sure the direction of the entire meeting will change as well. There are many members who don't really have an opinion and will simply go along with whatever he decides. Abbas? Yes. Please let me meet with Rudu. I was actually thinking the same thing. But I'm sure you already know that, right? Correct. Abbas' suggestion. We perform a mind dive on Sarah. If we did that, then we can find out Sarah's real identity. However, when it comes to it, Sophine desires to perform the mind drive. Alright, Radona. I'm sure he'll understand. Sophine had her own plan, which had kept only to herself. Even I was unaware of what she had in mind. With only a lingering trace of doubt, we headed to Lab 9 where Rudu was. Chapter 7. The Measure of a Girl. Oh, this is so interesting! 1 second. Okay. Shall we continue? I think we shall. So this is a laboratory. I thought it was rather unsettling when we spotted it as we roamed around town. But it seems science doesn't mesh well with me. They cause me too much discomfort. Let's head inside. Hello again. Who are you? Rudu. Albaz, I believe we have a strict policy on not allowing any outsiders into the lab, do we not? There isn't time for that. I have something important I need to discuss with you. Can I not wait until tomorrow? I'm in the middle of putting together a presentation and report regarding Sarah's dismantlement. That is exactly why I'm trying to talk about you with it. I want you to reconsider this matter. Ah, how desperate you are going to cling to that thing. Isn't it about time you let go, Albaz? Regardless of what you do, the opinion of the board of directors is not going to change. Do you have any more important things to do? I didn't come here to change the opinion of any member of the board. I'm here to change yours. What? We want to we want you to cease Sarah's dismantling. And here I was expecting you to say something else entirely. Rudu, these two people are manacrafters. This girl, Delphine, she used manacraft that allows people allows people's consciousness to communicate directly. That craft gives her the ability to let people share memories directly with each other. Oh ho. Do you understand what this means, Rudu? With this, we can see into Sarah's memories and find out who she truly is. Don't you see? The question of Sarah's identity can finally be solved. I don't want to see Albaz. Let us say, hypothetically, that Sid's managed to use Rune as a model and implanted her in Sarah. What purpose would it serve? For all we know, she may have inherited Rune's memories. How did it accomplish it? I don't know. Exaggeration to say that she may have been Rune herself. Enough with this sorry excuses. What would lead you to conclude something like to a conclusion of something like that in the first place? What happened to this? Oh, ow, that was loud. I was about to say, what happened to this sound? But nope, there it is. Okay. Anyways, continuing on again. Regardless of the circumstances, there is no changing the fact that Sarah is a machine. It is nothing more than a prototype of a sister, an automatron, whose development consumed vast amounts of Zavat Enterprise-owned finances. The fact is, Sarah is an object. But still, if I may, Sylphine has been quiet the entire time, but she suddenly speaks out. Whether or not she's a machine has nothing to do with this. Eh? The issue on hand is whether she is Sarah or Rune. Alperas, Rudu, both of you have forgotten something crucial here. Something crucial? Yes. Which is what exactly? For starters, I like to propose my conclusions that she is Rune. How do you come to that conclusion? Simply based on what Sid had felt. Other than no other possible conclusion. There is no way, the outsider, that you could have known what my father was thinking. But I do. Through our dive with Albas, we were able to see Sid's way of life, his entire existence. Is everything working here? Okay, that's working. So there is no sound coming for some reason. Okay, but there's sound there. Let me go to the settings here. There's music. I guess there's just no music in this part. Okay. Sid did not just shut himself in the labs, losing his sanity to desperation. I'm sure he did it to research a way to give you your little sister, Rudu, a second chance at life. He created a heart for her missing emotions. For his own daughter, that so-called hellspawn, he used to pass down. Pass down? I see. If there wasn't a scientific equivalent to the pass down, then the possibility would be very likely. Considering Rune's memories, exactly what the pass down is. How did I not notice this before? And if she has emotions, then this entire issue is not even something that we should be discussing regardless of whether she is Rune or Sarah. What dignity beaming from her eyes. With dignity beaming from her eyes, Delphine speaks straight to us in a clear voice. It's wrong to deprive her of will, as a being in possession of a mind, a heart, and a spirit. Being a human or a machine has no bearing on that matter. I'm sure I'll remember this very moment for a long time from now. The moment when the sense of justice was able to penetrate regardless of any country's borders. I think I made the correct decision to intervene. Anyways, nonsense. Rudu, perhaps you realized it. That Sid created Sarah to give Rune the emotions that she never had. Absolute nonsense. If so, then this may be the greatest precedent that could affect just what we define as a human, and if that's the case, then this is no longer a problem confined to just us. The Vite Enterprise has the duty to confront this ethical issue straight on. Enough nonsense from you! Sarah does not have a heart. Fine, let's pretend that were true. Even then, Sarah is able to completely cut off its emotions whenever it's ordered to do something. You can't say anything that has a heart when it just turns the emotions on and off as easy as flipping a switch. That none of you understand the kind of being my sister was. What was lurking behind her smile, her senseless, meaningless acts of evil. If Sarah has inherited Rune's memories and personalities, then there couldn't be anything more dangerous. Still, if she could succeed in artificially creating emotions using mana, then enough of this foolish speculation. Why don't you use those theories of yours to write a novel or something? Now, if you excuse me, I have more pressing matters to attend to. Rudu! Confound it all. Rudu, we're not done here. Rudu, if Rune was reborn with emotions, with a heart, then would you be able to accept her as your own little sister? It's already come to a point where there's no clear-cut right or wrong answer. However, as someone who stands above everyone else, you have the right to make that decision. As if you know anything. Is that all? All that could have been done. The sun is rising. Whoa, Sid. Don't make that face, Sid. Your smile is much more wonderful. Do you expect me to smile? Like this? Heck, how could I smile at a time like this? Who knows? I'm not sure either. What is going on? I'm sure it's because you've just run out of tears to shed. Ellen, I'm so sorry. Really. I've always been caught up with work that not once did I ever do anything for the family. What brought this on all of a sudden? If only I'd been there for Rudu and Rune. If only I'd spent more time with them than all this. All this would never have happened. Ditching my family for my work. I'm just my damn dad. Don't say that, Sid. It's not like you regret the things you've done. I don't want to see you all this week like this. I just don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do anymore. Damn it. Tell me, Sid. Rune's issues. Are they really some kind of sickness? I've always thought to myself, if that girl had a heart, would she have lived a more normal life? I can't say for sure. Maybe it really was her real honest-to-goodness personality. Even if we managed to cure the flaws of Rune's, who knows what changed inside her. I see. Like, does not having emotions really turn someone into such a mess? Does that mean that we're born selfish, arrogant, messed up, and emotions are just a way to stop us, to keep us all in check? Heck if I know. You're right. Hey Sid, could you tell me something? Do you hate Rune? Don't know. Hate ain't the right word for it. It's just that I feel so helpless and miserable. Well, if you ask me if I hate her or not, then I guess I might have. If it weren't for Rune, then our family would still be whole, or so I think. But that's a thought that I can't really hold on to for long. So I'm just left with nothing but feeling miserable. That's all. And what about you? At first, I didn't really feel anything. I was just in a daze. It was like my entire world was engulfed in a mist and I lost my sensation in my entire body. I had no words, no feelings, no thoughts. I could barely consider myself conscious. Nothingness. That was it. But as some time passed, I felt like I was attacked by deep nausea. Like I was going to throw up while I had a piercing headache. And it made me question why I was even here at all. It made me hate the fact that I was even alive. I wanted to die. Just living was painful. So painful. I'm sure I didn't even know what to think. But you know what? It's strange. Even after all that pain and hardship and suffering that Rune made me go through, the more I thought about it, the more I realized just how I couldn't come to hate Rune. I just wanted to talk to her one last time, to ask her what thoughts she had as she lived, to know what was going on through her mind when she put an end to that short life of hers, and to simply ask for her forgiveness for not trying to understand her. I'm so sorry, Rune. Sorry that you had someone like me for your mother. What the heck? Why are you apologizing like this? You didn't do a single thing wrong. Don't lie for me anymore, Sid. Everything you've done was always for the kids. You're a damned fine mother. No, I'm not the only one who's been thinking of was myself. After all, after the Garul's incident, Rune finally settled down. I thought to myself that everything would go well. I can finally have a normal family life, is what I thought. But I think I already realized it. That something was just slightly off. It was ever so subtle that discomfort couldn't go away in a blink of an eye. But if I ever once put that feeling into words, even if I once admitted that feeling, then our days of peace and quiet would all just shatter, fall apart. That's what I thought. I was so scared. Which is why I subconsciously pretended not to notice. I was simply chasing after an illusion. Nothing more. A stupid illusion of a perfect, ideal family. In the end, the only person who I was thinking about was myself. It's all in the past, Elaine. You can only say that because all this happened. You lived your entire life for your family happiness. I wouldn't believe you for a second if you said you were only thinking about yourself. But the MRI results were right there. And more importantly, even Rudu told me about her. Rune's behaving strangely, he told me. And how I didn't respond, be nicer to her. I spoke as if it wasn't even my problem. I didn't listen to a word what Rudu said. I was taking advantage of Rudu's kindness. He got his act together. I can just leave it all to him, I thought. Because of how strong Rudu was, I left him to deal with Rune. All of his worries. He just balled it up inside himself. Even though I'm sure it was painful for him. He did all that for my sake. Elaine, I don't even know what to think. Please don't leave Rudu alone, Sid. Yeah, I promise you. Take care of yourself and ease up that research of yours. Because once you're gone, Rudu really will be all alone. Rudu will never be alone. I promise you that. Oh God. What can I remember? Is interest in the outside world. And this frustration with the fact that I couldn't escape this island, this birdcage called the Outer Pole. Frustration, I think it's what it was. I thought everything was just so unfair. But I didn't know how to express that feeling. Everyone around me had something, an object, that would drive them to continue their day-by-day lives. But me, I was completely empty. The very first time I experienced something akin to emotion was when, as a child, I saw a bird twitching on the side of the road. Perhaps it was attacked by another animal. A deep red blood seeped out of its neck as it convulsed, and eventually the bird stopped moving altogether. Some kind of feeling from deep down within my chest desperately attempted to emerge. The onlookers voiced their pity for the bird. I said it was funny. Everyone stared at me with the strangest looks. After seeing death right before my eyes, I wanted to see it again. I wanted to feel that feeling again. In hindsight, perhaps it really was pity. I wasn't able to distinguish such a simple emotion. After observing other people around me, I was able to mimic their own behaviors. When I was a child, I was confined to the house. There were few people who were always around me. They were my mother and my brother. My mother had a weak construction. Whenever she spoke, she was very energetic. Although her body was weak, her spirit was strong. She was a very warm person. I didn't know how to respond to her warmth of hers. There was nothing stranger and more alien to me than her unconditional love. I couldn't even begin to comprehend it. My brother, even though he spoke gently, he had always had a scowl on his face. And it was well deserved. Because I was constantly causing nothing but grief. Despite all of that, I still worked hard every single day at this vital enterprise. Even though no one expected anything of him, he continued to diligently God, toil away in the shadows of his little sister. He was constantly anxious, being compared to his father by everyone around him. Always afraid of having succeeded his father, Sid Savite, who was a multi-talented one in a million prodigy. The barrier he had to scale reached all the way to the heavens. It was impossible. Ryu knew himself this, and still he tried to surmount it. He constantly aimed for the summit, not even knowing if he could make it to the top. I remember that upon seeing that brother of mine, within me rose a powerful desire to destroy it all. In hindsight, perhaps I looked up to him for his persistence and his grit to take on even the toughest challenges all by himself. All I could ever do was mimic others. I was frankly trying to reconstruct a present. On the other hand, my brother was fervent and single-minded, and foregoing a path forward. I was just so jealous of that. Looking back on it all, there was just a hair's breadth of difference between all kinds of emotions. I was actually being driven by these strange alien things called emotions after all. But I'm the one who killed my mother. I'm the one who ruined my father. I'm the one who caused my brother to suffer. Dad, why did you bring me back to... I lost it. I lost it. Yep, that's it. I lost it. Yeah, I lost it. I lost it. There it goes. I'm an emotional wreck now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I lost it. This game, man. Shite. I lost it. God damn it, I'm actually crying. Did you bring me back here just so I can fall in despair? I can't. Damn it. Shit. And there it goes. Lost it. Ugh. Damn these games. Emotion is what is going on here. Welcome to the interesting part of the stream. Alrighty. Let's continue. Did you bring me back here just... I'm an emotional guy. If you're just coming here, you probably wouldn't understand. And I don't expect you to understand. But you just have to watch. You'd have to go back and watch the playthrough or some playthrough of this game. And if you reach this part, and if you have any sense of humanity in your body, you will feel some things. But if you're like me, who is very emotional when it comes to things involving family and humanity and one's way of life, it just gets ruined. I become a total wreck. Let's continue. Is this all to my ultimate? God. If it's been slightly different, I wouldn't have caused all these people to experience such pain and suffering. I wouldn't have done so many things I could never take back. I committed so many wrongs that even my death could not hope to solve. I truly was a being that should never have been. But then, What am I? $63? That's interesting. Also, hello, Bibble Babble. Welcome to the stream. Is the man I consider my father truly Sid Zveit? Zvet? Was the person who I always stared emptily at truly my brother Rudu? And my memories? Rune's memories. Rune is someone who should have never been born. But that means I should never have been born. Am I Sarah? If I am, then that means I'm only borrowing these memories from Rune. And if that's the case, then what exactly is Sarah? Nothing makes sense anymore. But there's one thing I know. I don't want to cause Rudu any more trouble. If he truly does find my existence computous, that is to be expected, Steven. You have to, in order to understand everything that's going on, you have to watch the other parts of the stream. The parts 1, 2, and 3 of the stream. Also, hello, any game player. If he truly does find my existence computous, then I would gladly die, be destroyed. What? So what am I? Really? If only I could have seen Miss Delphines and Miss Ritona once more. I would tell them goodbye. I thought that was someone knocking on my door. Sarah? Yes? Your dismantlement will be determined by a collective vote tomorrow. Return to Lab 9 and stand by there for the remainder of today. Head straight to Lab 9. I have already informed Volthal and the others. Follow their orders. Understood. Master Rudu. Thank you for everything. This is new. I believe I ordered you to switch off your emotions. I couldn't. I've tried. So many times, but... Don't do this to me, Gabe. It seems I've only have access to rights to do so. If you couldn't do so, then why don't you still follow with my orders? How could you abide my illogical, preposterous orders without a single word of complaint? Because that's what you desire of me. Why? Why are you smiling? Because I am happy. What? I've always been taking this away from you, but now I can finally give you something you've always wanted. Something I've always wanted. The possibility of me becoming Rune will cease to exist. I thought about just running away so many times. I thought about my death, my destruction. But if I disobeyed your orders, then you would end up showing responsibility for my actions. Finally the time has come that I am no longer needed. If you have emotions, do you not feel fear? Aren't you afraid? I am afraid. Very much so. So afraid that I just want to run away this very minute. But I fear even more. Well, it's hard to explain, Steve. It's extremely hard to explain because this is anymore. Is very. This is, I think, like the end of it. But okay, I'll do my best to recap here. Sarah, or Rune, is a creation made by their father in his final breath to supposedly bring back Rune, who was a child, was born with a mental disability that did not have the ability to understand emotions. So she just caused a lot of trouble. But the way we see her in the game, when she's Sarah, or the machine, she's understanding how to live and how to be a human. But so many people from their childhood are afraid of Rune, and they want to destroy her because of that. They're afraid of her, and she doesn't. And Sarah / Rune here is doing her best to understand, and she's trying to figure out why does she have the memories of Rune, and they're trying to understand why is she feeling emotions when she's just a machine, when she can quote unquote turn it off. And she's just a machine that she can turn off, and right now she's saying she can't because she's finally learning what emotions are and what Rune, because she is basically a reconstruction of Rune, what pain she has caused Rudu, and she doesn't want to cause him pain anymore because, yeah. It is fake. This is a fake story. It's an anime. It's not real life. It's nowhere close to real life. It's an anime. Why am I upset? Throughout my playthrough, this character, well, one, this is fake. Two, this character, Sarah, or Rune here, she, I can sort of like connect with her, suppose. She's a character you can connect, and I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. But, she's, her character makes you think. Her character makes you think when you learn who she is. Her existence are supposed to make you think. Well, what, Bibble? What? It's supposed to make you think of what humanity is. This is one of those games that is designed so that is around like questioning human morals and what is human and what is not. And Sarah is one of those characters. Yes, I am. I played through this. I can't describe it. You have to be a fan of these games and these types of episodes to be down and upset as I am over a cartoon thing. It's because I enjoy these things, and I'm a big fan of these things. That's why. If you're someone who doesn't like these and don't care for these, understandable. You will not be upset over this. You don't care, but here's the thing. Do I have depression? No, and here's another reason why. This kind of hits home personally as well with family. This also does hit home. Hits home quite hard to my family as well, which is why I am extremely down than anyone else should be. I probably should let off with that, but I didn't want to say that because of personal. There are people in my family, so that's another reason why it's why I'm very emotional at this part as well. That's probably the main reason why I'm so down and upset over it. But okay, did that answer all your questions? Did that answer all your questions? If not, just ask me what you need clarified, and I'll do my best to clarify it. Probably not, Steven. Probably not. But I'm gonna continue on with the story because I think we're close to the end. Anyways, here we go. This is my it is that my existence would only serve to cause you even more pain. What? You can just type it in chat. I will most likely not call. Just if it helps, I also have a Discord that we can speak in as well if you want to. But I'll most likely not call it. So, anyways, let's continue. I know that you're a really nice, kind person. You're always watching out for your little sister. I'm sure back then she didn't realize just how dearly you thought of her. But now, I'm sure she can understand just how much of her own memories have been restored inside of you. I do not know. As time passed, fragments of her memories are slowly becoming back to me. But for whether they are truly my memories, there's no way for me to tell. What? Just what in the world are you? I don't know anymore. Not a single thing. But one thing I do know. Rudu. I'm just a girl that admires you as my brother. But I don't even know what that means. Damn it. Rudu will never be alone. I promise you that. Damn it. Dad, you son of a bitch. Rune. Will you call me Rune? I do have TeamSpeak. Is it okay? Okay, well, Steve. Steve. This is what this game basically. This game is supposed to make you feel like this. If you play it, this game is to make you feel like this. This is what the game is basically designed for. To get involved with the story, to become one with the story. That's really all you need to know. That's really the best way I can describe everything to you. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how else I can describe it. That's the best way as I can describe it. That this game is a game that is meant to toy with your emotions. There's really nothing else I can do to describe it. So if you don't understand, it, I understand that completely, 100%, because this is a game that it's really. I guess I can, sure. As soon as you post it, I'll copy it and delete it. I will wait. Alrighty. Okay. In the meantime, I will continue on with the story. Is it okay if I could call you brother again? Do whatever you want. You mean it? Brother, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. Really do. There's a formula that I've never calculated right before my eyes. I don't think my processing could ever keep up with it. I think this is the source of the noise that's always been deep inside my heart. The emotions behind my destructive tendencies from before. My feelings for you are as my brother. Why? Why didn't I notice it sooner? I got it. I got it. Don't. I got it. Okay. Let's, Alrighty. Okay, got both. Okay, let's continue. The equation is so vast. I could just break it down. Yet, so accurate, so expressive to. Ugh, I can't speak. Yeah, it is so simple. What do people call this feeling? At first, I wish I'd never given birth to Rune. I wish I'd never left my hometown, moved to Kadia, and worked at Zavite. I wish I never met you, that I should have just stayed and took over the family business. I wish I never had anything to do with the name Zevite.